Good afternoon. This is Rima from Mapic India, and we are back with a new exclusive interview with retail leaders in 2022 edition. Today, we are really honored to have Mr. Abhishek Trehan, Executive Director at Trehan Iris, the third generation entrepreneur in real estate. Abhishek Trehan has been a stalwart at Trehan Iris for the last 15 years. The Trehan Iris has witnessed tremendous growth under his leadership and currently has three offices operations with expansion across all ongoing projects. Under his guidance, the company forayed into the segments of premium villas and high street malls and housing. Recently, they have launched their ambitious mixed use 1 million square feet Iris Broadway Greno West at Greater Noida West. Thanks for joining us today, Abhishek, and we would like to welcome you here.
Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. And we've been linked with Mapic India for the longest time. We participate full-heartedly every year. And really like to congratulate on the great efforts of bringing the best of retailers and developments under the same roof and getting this organized every year. So thank you for having me and having Trehan Iris.
Thanks, Abhishek, for taking our time for this. And let's start this conversation, Abhishek, with the very first, most interesting question that I would like to ask you. That based on the success of Iris Broadway Gurgaon, 100% leased out retail-led shopping center and food hub, you have recently launched your new project, Iris Broadway Greno West. So, what are the experience you carried in, conceiving your new project?
So Greno West is a very different development. I mean, they've got similarities and differences. Greno West was conceived because we were looking at an opportunity to do a neighborhood shopping center, a larger neighborhood shopping center in an upcoming location, which is promising. So Greno West is one of the highly dense townships rising, one of the largest ones in Asia. They have upcoming around 4.5 lakh to 5 lakh flats, which when occupied are going to have a population of 12 to 13 lakh people minimum. And the connectivity with central Noida is really good. And this is the neighborhood on the rise. It is estimated in about 4 to 5 years, this will contain a very dense population of catchment with high disposable incomes. And this market really lacked a good development with a big vision of making a more than value, a more premium development, which is not available here. So we were really, really excited about designing this and launching this here. And it's a very unique development, which is a mix of air-conditioned spaces and high street. So it's a very novel concept wherein we have multiple floors which are air-conditioned and multiple floors which face the greenery and landscape, which is the atrium. And this is designed by Benoy, and the development of the leasing layout is done by Crossworks UK. The landscape is by Uncommon. The parking is by Secure. So many experts around the world have worked on this. And obviously the learnings have been many from the earlier project. So, in terms of the circulation of customers, in terms of the zoning, the width of corridors, the services, the size of the units, so many things we've learned and we've implemented in this project. So this is a very focused on leasing project, wherein the layouts, the units are sized according to retailers, keeping in mind what do you need for a restaurant versus what do you need for a premium fashion brand versus a flagship versus a cafe. So everything is planned and the unit sizes are made that way. The location of brands is already settled. We know where the anchors go. We know how the movement is going to be in terms of the escalators, the vertical circulation, the placement of different categories of retailers across levels. So everything, and I mean it's really a well thought of and designed project. It took us almost 1 year to get to this level.
Great. It's great to know that Iris Broadway Gurugram is one of the most preferred shopping and entertainment destinations of New Gurugram today, with the best of brand mix from across the categories, as you mentioned. How confident are you in getting Iris Broadway Greno West lease out?
We are very confident, and we already have very good interest from retailers across categories for this development. So the idea was that nobody is in this market. Obviously, there is a very good requirement because the catchment is great, as I talked about. And also the retailers are very confident about us delivering the project. So they have this big confidence. Of course, they've worked with us. Secondly, when we show them the plans, they understand that it's very thoughtfully designed for retailers. And, they would be confident that when they come into the mall, everything else will also be leased according to our vision. So we have really good interest, and we are 100% confident of leasing it out in full capacity.
Great, great. Abhishek, what has made you think that Greater Noida West is one of the most promising part of Delhi NCR when it comes to retail developments or a mixed-use development, as you know, planned at Iris Broadway, Greno West?
Sorry, I didn't get the last line.
So I want to know, what has made you think that Greater Noida West is one of the most promising part of Delhi NCR when it comes to retail developments or a mixed-use development, as you have planned at Iris Broadway, Greno West?
Yeah. Okay. Great. So it's a great location. It's an excellent location with a very, very big catchment around it. It's very well designed. I mean, the planning is such that you have this arterial road, which is 130-meter wide, with the metro line. And it's the only road which has the commercial, which is allowed to build in this location. And it's very well connected to the central Noida. So from the center of Noida, you can reach our project in 10 minutes. Very well connected to central Noida. And the metro stations also give you an access right from the heart of Noida, which is Botanical Gardens, within 10 to 15 minutes. So the access from central Noida is great. The catchment around this area, the Greno West, as I said, 12 to 13 lakh people next 4 to 5 years. Then it's strategically located very close to Greater Noida and, of course, the Jewar Airport Road, which is the expressway going to the airport. Plus, we are to Indirapuram, Ghaziabad. So already the people, they travel from Ghaziabad and Indirapuram to shop in Greno West. Plus, we also have a new road, which is FNG corridor, which is linking Faridabad, Noida, Gurgaon, which is passing just south of this development, Greno West. So the location advantages are huge. The catchment is excellent. And we're very confident, and we are entering at the right time. So in real estate, it's all about launching the right project at the right time, at the right location. So the timing is great because in 4 years, this will be a developed catchment wherein people would yearn to buy, United Colors of Benetton, Lacoste, Vera Moda, have experiences of going out, sitting in a restaurant and paying a good amount for it because they will have the money. So this catchment is growing that whenever you have a new satellite catchment which joins Gurgaon and Noida, or Bangalore or Mumbai, it takes 7 to 8 years. So Reno West was launched in, I mean, it started populating in 2011-12, and now 10 years and plus 3 years for our construction. So 15 years is the perfect time for you to actually launch a mall and operate a mall. Because then the catchment is ripe, it is developed, people have disposable income, you have a migration of high quality workforce. So that's where it's the right timing to launch a mall. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Abhishek, I have a very another interesting question for you. Tell me something about the differentiators you would have at Iris Broadway, Greno West. As I know, there are around 10 to 12 malls coming up in the area in the next 4 to 5 years.
Yes. So people get into retail and commercial development for two reasons. One reason, of course, is to make a lot of money and to kind of see the profitability, see the top line, and get into that development for that reason. Second is to actually operate and make a mall which becomes a landmark and becomes kind of a town center for the area. So I believe we are the second development there after Gore Mall, which is fully operational since about 6 years now. And every other development is very much strata sold. They have not planned for leasing at all. They have smaller units. They don't have a retail experience. Their services are much shorter to the requirement of the mall. So their vision is not there how to zone the mall. And being strata sold, it will be really difficult for them. So when we entered, we took our good 3-4 months. We did a feasibility study on the catchment. We did a competition analysis. We did a rent roll analysis. So after all that research, we got to know that there is a big vacuum for a good player, for a mall developer to enter this market, while there are developers who are in there for good financial gains. So so every mall, it has a cycle. So Gore Mall will have a cycle as well. I mean, 9 years since operations, if it's not the perfect fit for retailers, they will either, because the catchment is really big, they will either open a second store in our mall, or they will shift from Gore Mall into our mall. So we are the only 2 planned malls on that road. So it gives me, I mean, I have no doubt that we'll be really successful. Yeah.
Definitely. And what about the completion period, Abhishek? Could you tell us something about that also?
So we plan to open doors by 2025, late 2025, and the construction is already started. We are at the raft level, and just last week we did our first pouring, and the construction is not going to stop from here. That's our promise. Yeah.
Great. One last thing I want to ask you, Abhishek. What are your future plans to extend Iris Broadway in other parts of the country?
Yes. So we are looking. We already have a commercial in Bangalore, which is an electronic city, very close to Koramangala. It already has a very rich catchment of its own, and we are planning to open an Iris Broadway F&B and entertainment hub over there. It will be a different format. I don't know if you'll call it Iris Broadway or something else, but definitely it'll be under the same umbrella. And we're also looking at some cities and towns for doing a DM model. So we are inviting interest from landowners who own very prime parcels in different areas where retailers are demanding a nice development, a nice mall. Plus, we are also looking at a new project in Gurgaon, which we'll announce very, very soon. Yeah.
Okay. Great. I think that's it, Abhishek. And it's really nice to know about your malls, and all the best for all your future projects also. And we look forward to see you at MAPIC India this year on 14th and 15th
Definitely,
of September at Geo World Center. Thank you so much for taking our
definitely.
time.
I'm looking forward. Thank you, Rima. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Thank you so
Take-
much.
Bye.
Okay.